Shalom, shalom. This video is about the prophet portion of Parashat Eikev. It is from Isaiah chapter 49 verse 14 up to 51 verse 3. It's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to be far briefer than what Isaiah deserves. The prophet portion is the latter part of Isaiah's second servant song. And it really starts in Isaiah 49 verse 1, not in verse 14 as the portion officially indicates. And it ends after Isaiah 50 verse 3. It's recommended to read it from the beginning for context though. The context is Isaiah's calling his mouth, which is like a sharp sword, to speak words that cut deep. In this, Isaiah is a prototype of the returning Messiah, because for the returning Messiah, we read that a double-edged sword will come out of his mouth to destroy the enemies of Israel, as it is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 15. Furthermore, just like the Messiah, Isaiah is called to be a light to the nations. That's Isaiah 49, verse 6. To be a testimony of Adonai's salvation to the ends of the earth. Adonai said that, Isaiah 49 verse 7, that the kings and the princes of the nations will bow to Isaiah, just as every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Yeshua is Adonai. And the confirmation to Isaiah's prophecy is in Psalm 59 verse 6 and in Revelation 4 verse 10 and Revelation 5 verse 13 and in a number of Paul's letters as well. Isaiah continues the Torah portion's theme of Eikev, in that actions have consequences. But he also takes Moses' gospel of grace, which is this week's Torah portion. He takes that up and elaborated on it in these verses. Adonai will never forget nor forsake his chosen people, just as a nursing mother cannot forget her baby. That is a quote from Isaiah 49 verse 15. Adonai added that Israel is engraved on the palms of his hands. In fact, we know from the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, that Israel's name was engraved in his palms with a coarse iron nail driven by a heavy mallet in both palms that nailed him to the cross. These wounds of Israel's name remain eternally with him, so he cannot forget his chosen people. In this, the fact that Adonai stood back for some time so that Israel will experience rejection before he steps closer again is Isaiah's message. It's also the Torah message in this week's Torah portion. In the Torah portion, the same feeling of God stepping back and then stepping back in is depicted in the broken tablets, which were replaced with new tablets for the Ten Commandments tablets. We also see the prophecy of two messiahs. The first one, the suffering servant, son of Joseph, was broken, but he will return in his second edition to keep his covenant with Israel. We'll explore this further in this week's corresponding gospel portion from Matthew 16. In the Torah, we see how Parashat Eikev opens and closes with the same covenantal promises, in spite of the brokenness of the golden calf in the middle of it. A generation ago, in 1948, Adonai returned his chosen people to their promised land. After that, Isaiah 49 verse 22, verse 23, became the justification and the rally call for many churches and individual Christians, and mostly Americans, to finance Aliyah journeys for Jews from all over the world to return to the promised land. It also is the present day motivation for many volunteers in Israel to bring Israel's sons to their chest and to carry Israel's daughters on their shoulders. From these verses, mostly American Christian churches brought Russian Jews back to the Promised Land by chartering and financing their Aliyah flights from Moscow to Jerusalem. There are Also testimonies of how American Christians walk around the Kremlin, just as Israel walked around Jericho, silently praying for the walls to fall in. Their prayers were answered, just as Israel's prayers were answered at Jericho. The USSR's walls came down and Mikhail Gorbachev allowed the Jews to go. And in this, Mikhail Gorbachev spared the USSR the 10 plagues of Egypt, which was for sure to follow if he did not yield. Adonai is the Redeemer of Israel, and in Isaiah 49 verse 26, poetic rhyme which became an image of Revelation 16 verse 6, when he gathers all the enemies of Israel in the Megiddo Valley to slaughter them. And Isaiah 49:26 is also the inverse image of the great harlot in the book of Revelation chapter 17 verse 6, because the great harlot, which is the Christian church, was drunk from the blood of the Jews they slaughtered. In this, the Roman Catholic Church persecuted the Jews through inquisitions, the Orthodox Church deployed pogroms against the Jews, and the Protestant Church implemented the Holocaust as a final solution in Germany. All three branches of the so-called Christian Church stole Jewish property to enrich themselves during these horrible acts. When Yeshua returns, those people who persecuted the Jews, who still persecuting Jews today, who are still anti-Zionists today, they will drink their own blood, as Isaiah said. As the Torah repeatedly forbids the eating and drinking of blood, this drinking their own blood represents their utter defilement as well. Adonai goes on in Isaiah 50 verse 1 to 3 to ask where the divorce certificates is that he supposedly gave Israel. There has been no divorce between Adonai and Israel. The great harlot is the woman who's trying to come in between Adonai and his chosen people, his bride. My wife is my chosen person. Israel, Adonai's chosen people, is his bride. The great harlot's trying to muscle in between the two of them. It's never going to happen. Isaiah then records after this the third seventh song, which is richly messianic and also prophetic about Israel's future. It concludes with Adonai taking the cup of reeling, which is the bowl of his wrath against unfaithful Israel, away from them. He promised that Israel will never drink it again. Instead, Adonai will force the nations who are the enemies of Israel to drink this bowl of his wrath. And then the third servant song is followed by the beautiful Manavu, the song of salvation. And with that, I pray that Adonai Eloheinu will bless you and keep you, that he will shine his face upon you and be gracious to you, that he will lift his countenance upon you, and that he will give you peace. And as I will say in the video I'm making about the gospel portion, that he will also help you, give you keys to unlock the meaning of the scriptures. With that, I wish you shalom, shalom.